Hi. So currently, there's a lot of ungroundedness, and I'm seeing people who are struggling to ground, feeling lightheaded, sort of almost slightly not present, and in some cases, not so slightly. um, and also, there's a lack of clarity for a lot of people around going forward in their lives, plans, visions, ideas, etc. And some people are attributing that to lockdown, but there's actually something else going on that I want to make you aware of, and hopefully it'll shed some light and help you to feel able to manage this better. So the ungroundedness is coming from an enormous amount of light, which is in our environment, in our bodies, and it's also in the earth, unusually. Usually it's the earth's energy we can turn to for grounding, but not currently. The earth's energy is as light as the energies in us and in our environment. Now, you might think, well, if it's also light, why doesn't everything feel great? And light is actually a very difficult thing for us as human beings to bring into our bodies and to integrate. Our bodies are not really designed for that level of frequency, or are yet to, shall we say, catch up biologically with those type of frequencies. So it often attracts shadow and pulls people, or attracts shadow energies into the environment. I think I mentioned that to you in a previous clip. So just be conscious of that. The best way to manage this light is to stay as centered as possible. Through centering, we are able to almost be grounded. The other thing, of course, is to, instead of trying to pull your auric field down towards the earth, or to take your energy into the earth, rather try to pull the earth's energy up into your body. That way we don't reduce our frequency, and we are raising or continuing to raise the earth's vibration. And that seems to be a lot more helpful at the moment. The other thing I wanted to mention, and this is actually quite important, is that a lot of people are finding a lack of clarity around the future, even a few months down the line. And as a result, there tends to be a little bit of insecurity. The reason for this is because around the equinox on the 21st of March, we actually have stepped fully into the consciousness of the next cycle. And what most people don't understand is that the light around us that we're experiencing is actually the consciousness of the next cycle. It is a wide open, vast space of unstructured light. And it is up to us to actually bring form and structure to this consciousness in order to determine who we're going to be and how we're going to live it. So literally, it's like we're being given a clean slate, and some of us are able to move away from old karmic patterning very comfortably and move into this new cycle, creating ourselves new. And some people are also sort of holding on to old ways of being and old patterns, and as a result, they're finding the new cycle very difficult. And this is only a couple of weeks in. So what I want to suggest is something that Spirit showed me for myself, and I think it could be very beneficial to everybody. And that is to start looking at and setting intentions around who it is that we want to be in the new cycle, rather than what we want to have or experience. So the very first thing they presented to me was fear and love. Which consciousness do I choose to function through in the new cycle? And well, for myself, I chose to function through love. They then presented to me my masculine and feminine energies. And over a period of days, I engaged with myself, trying to understand more deeply the current archetypal roles that I was living, or the archetypal frequencies that I was engaging both in my masculine and feminine energies, and what those needed to look like going forward. So as an example, it would be perhaps taking the warrior into becoming the leader, taking the nurturer into perhaps becoming the carer, and so on. There's actually a considerable difference in those roles, or perhaps I should express it better as taking the mother into being, I don't know, she could become the open-hearted gypsy, perhaps. So changing our archetypal roles into ways of being that actually work for us in alignment with our divine blueprint. And it requires that we go within, we look at ourselves, look honestly at the way we're expressing our energies and how we want to externalize them. What Spirit then showed me is this starts to create a form within this unformed energy, this unstructured energy. And from there, we will start to attract to ourselves the reality and the experiences which are reflective of what it is that we are choosing. And obviously, when we make a change like this, and it is a vast change, it is to be expected that there will be a time of transition, a time where things need to adjust and adapt. So it's important also to be patient with ourselves, although I must say to you that the energies are moving very quickly. Which brings me to another point. The other thing that they are making available, or rather that the new consciousness makes available to us, is the pace at which things unfold. We can continue to live at breakneck speed and allow our evolution to happen at breakneck speed, or we can slow everything down to a pace that is more comfortable for us, perhaps living our days with more depth and more conscious awareness, and at the same time allowing our evolution to evolve in the same way. If it's been happening too slowly, we can speed it up. And again, this is through intent. And those intentions are best placed into the future, just as the intentions around the masculine and feminine, etc., are placed. Having said that, we can also adjust this on a daily basis by setting intent and allowing those intentions to manifest for us in the pace of each day that we are given. Well, that turned out to be a longer message than I had intended. And there's a lot of information coming through, but I really hope that this helps you at this time. And I send you all my love, and I wish you a beautiful Easter weekend. I hope it's a long one and a slow one.